is back with us this morning after a little hiatus. And we've got Cereal Bros One, Manny himself, with us to talk about your favorite cereal. And we are going to do that right now.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean, Elvis Presley, and he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
All right, friends and foes, welcome to the virtual rec room. This is Back of the Cereal Box. I am the prophet of pop culture, John Pica. You can call me Johnny. I love the pop culture of my youth. Avengers comics, Star Wars movies, and Saturday morning cartoons made me who I am today. And we are a pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of that Saturday morning of our youths while surviving adulthood today. And we've got a lot of great folks in the virtual rec room. And before I bring them up, first, I need to mention what's in my bowl. This morning, I'm going to be eating Golden Grahams retro recipe. Super excited about that. And we need to acknowledge our sponsors who you all know and love. The Murdering Crows. They did our theme song, and their record, Four Bad Crows, is available on Amazon, Google, Apple Music. I just slurred Amazon. First day with my new tongue. And of course, our super fan supporters on buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Sharice Collins, Cindy Kep, Brian Huff, Dave Manginelli, Dave Mattingly, Crystal Raven Jones, and Eli Cash. And you too can have your name in lights just by going to buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. The address is strolling across the bottom. Did I just say strolling? I meant scrolling, but I said strolling. Strolling. It's almost the same thing. All right, we got to welcome in my co-host this morning. She's going to body slam you with laughter all the way from New York City. She is the Silver Queen herself, the one, the only, Ivy Roman.
Good morning, Johnny. Good morning, everyone.
Ivy. How are you?
I'm doing good. So good morning to all the listeners. My name is Ivy Roman. I'm a professional wrestler, comedian. And this beautiful morning, I am actually switching up this morning. I have my cereal, my Eggos, and my Kicks behind me because those are my two childhood favorites. But I have some amazing Korean baked bread with my coffee. For those of you that don't know, I am a Latina from Puerto Rico, and sometimes Saturday mornings meant coffee and bread. But, cereal is always a good snack for later on.
Well, the show is called Back of the Cereal Box because I am of an age that we did not have iPhones or iPads, smartphones or tablets at the breakfast table on Saturday mornings. We were reading the back of the cereal box. That was our newspaper. That was our world. And for me, it was a portal into pop culture, like movies and comics and toys and all of that fun stuff. So that's what we talk about. And we've got a great guest this morning, Ivy.
We have amazing guests. I'm so excited.
But before we get to this week's guest, we got to bring in our other co-host, the one, the only Peppermint Princess, the social media socialite, Miss Willow Schuyler.
Ooh,
hey!
Willow. Hi, honey.
How are you, Ivy?
I'm
and
good,
Johnny.
my love. How are you?
Willow, tell everybody who you are, what you do, what's in your bowl this morning.
Well, I'm in the virtual back. Yeah, I have the virtual back room of our treehouse. So that means tomorrow I'm going to be hosting Cryptid Crunch, and right here on the Back of the Cereal Box Network. And I'm also do another podcast called The Sideshow on Wednesdays. So yeah, that's what I do. And I'm also a barista by day.
What is your pop culture passion?
Comics, cartoons, and movies.
What is your favorite comic?
You know what? It tends to vary. X-Men is what got me into the whole cartoon, not the whole cartoon craze, but comic books. So, Marvel, DC, I can switch off.
All right. That's respectable. And returning to the virtual rec room, she's been on hiatus. We are so excited.
I can't contain myself.
Queen of hopeful simplicity, Miss Melissa Stecher.
I miss you so much. Hold on, Melissa. I'm so sorry, Johnny. Cheers for those of you that can't see.
Cheers.
Melissa and I and any female that works on the show together, we cheers our coffee because we can't be with each other, so that's how we feel close with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, Melissa, because we have new listeners and new viewers every week, tell everyone who may not know because they haven't tuned in previous shows who you are, what you do, and what your pop culture passion is, and what's in your bowl in honor of our special guest this morning.
I love it that you think I follow the rules just because I'm shifting my schedule. That's adorable when they're dumb. Love you, Johnny. Good morning, everybody. I'm Melissa, and I'm the one that gets kicked out of the room because I sassed back. But I'm also the owner and creator of Helpful Simplicity because I get to help people achieve less stress lifestyles by focusing on organizing. So that's what I do. In my bowl with a handle is coffee. And per Johnny's request, I did bring a breakfast item. So I was thinking about this. I don't like cereal for breakfast. It's a meal for me. It's normally like if I wait long enough to not make dinner, someone likes cereal, right? That's how that works. So I have to have a side complimentary to my coffee. This morning, it's Eggos with peanut butter and honey.
Ooh.
So I brought a breakfast item, but now I only have one dish to do. And my fandom is, Harry Potter, Gears of War, and Disney are my top 3 choices.
Johnny, you're on mute. Oh, I forgot to say my fandom, so that's a perfect.
Go ahead, Ivy. Ladies and gentlemen listening or watching, we only do this every week, the same format. So anyway. Go ahead, Ivy.
My fandom is X-Men, Uncharted, and Supergirl. I have so much more, but those are the top ones this week.
So, did you hear the news about Benoit? Is that how you pronounce her last name? Who plays Supergirl on the CW?
Yeah.
She's being courted by Marvel to play Emma Frost in the MCU.
I can actually see her doing that. She's such an amazing actress. I can see her doing that.
And she revealed this week at I don't know a interview or whatnot that she has always been a hardcore Marvel Comics fan, and she let go with massive hardcore nerd trivia. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. No, I love her work. And
Melissa is her name, right? Melissa Benoit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or Benoost.
Yeah, she's
Canadian, Willow.
Yeah,
so how do you pronounce that?
Benoit sounds about right.
All right.
Our Canadian expert.
Willow was like, "Huh? What?" I heard.
I'm only guessing.
All right. Well, guys, we got to
Quebec is a whole nother world to us.
Oh, is it really? I don't know. I've only been up there once in a while. So we've all got our bowls ready for our very special guest this week, and he is a very special guest. Let's hear it for the immortal one. Cereal Mania runs wild on IG at Cereal Bros 1. It's Manny. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. So,
what's up, guys?
Manny,
let's get ready to eat cereal.
I love that. I love that, Willow. Let's get ready to eat cereal.
go. Let's go.
Oh.
Now
I can't
everybody
believe
in my
it.
house is like, what the
What?
heck just happened?
I need a snippet of that introduction. Good Lord.
You know what? I will record one for you.
Man.
So Manny, I am been a bad host. I forgot
Again?
before. Yeah, I know it happens. I forgot before we went live to ask how, because I didn't want to mispronounce your last name. Is it pronounced Macias?
No, Macias.
Okay. See,
Listen, you should have just asked
Ivy
the
would've
Latina.
known.
What's
That's
wrong
right.
with you,
the
Johnny?
hot Latina would have known. Yeah. So Manny, tell everybody who you are, what you do, what your pop culture passion is, and what's in your bowl this morning.
So by day I'm an axe murderer, and then no. Well, real quick, in my bowl this morning, I'm going to try for the first time
Ooh.
HEB cinnamon rolls cereal. HEB is a grocery store in Texas that they'll do like versions of other people's cereals, but they also have a whole line of their own stuff. It is a wonderful store. Their cereal is off the chain. You might get diabetes from it, but it is worth the taste every time. So
Diabetes. La
Yeah,
diabetes.
like
Diabetes.
as
Diabetes.
Wilford Brimley would say, diabetes.
Diabetes.
Now, not
Why do you guys make it sound so beautiful, though?
Diabetes.
Well, now look. So here's the secret. Everybody knows that Ivy and I both have been on a weight loss and physical fitness journey for the past, at least the last couple years. I started out at over 400 pounds, and I'm down to 240. And a lot of people ask me all the time, well, Johnny, how can you lose weight when you're eating cereal all the time? Well, I don't eat it all the time. I eat a couple of spoonfuls, literally. I'm not going to finish a whole bowl. I'm going to have enough to taste it and enjoy it and put it down once a week. The rest of the week, I'm having healthy stuff. And today's my cheat day, so I'm gonna have a little treat with some retro recipe golden grams.
Nice.
So
Johnny.
that's the secret.
Johnny, just so you know,
Yeah.
I was in Stop and Shop and I was about to pick up that cereal. And I said, you know what? Next week. I'll grab this next week. And to see you with the box, I'm just like, unagi, brother. Unagi.
I know you and I are on the same
Fate.
wavelength.
It's fate.
Now, before we get into everything this morning, we've already got a bunch of comments. So Eli Cash respond. Yes, Melissa. Thank you for raising your hand. What did I miss?
So you asked Manny to say his last name, and then we don't know his fandom. We don't know what his stuff.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
I know what's
So-
in his box.
We know what you do by day. Okay, what do you do? Who are you? What do you do? What's your pop culture fandom?
My
Melissa.
real life job is boring, so I won't even go into that. But fandom wise, I would say I grew up as a DC boy more than anything. But I've always my favorite two comics, I think, hands down, was the original Suicide Squad, the original Teen Titans, the first version of it, and all-time favorite graphic novel will forever be Watchmen. Forever. Like, I just think that was such a great thing. And obviously the movies that are out now, it's great as growing up and now seeing them bring everything to the screen, even though it's not always great. It's still great to see them at least attempting to bring it to the screen. So I'm definitely a comic book nerd. Yeah, so I mean, cereal, obviously. My mom worked for Quaker. I mean, enough said.
Oh,
It was
That
destiny.
is awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
destiny. So
Even
Your
Eli
niche was chosen
Cash
for you.
is calling me a bad host. Johnny, honey, how could you treat your guest Manny like that?
that's so cruel.
Yeah, I
So
know.
cruel.
I
What a
know.
world. What a world.
This train starts rolling, and sometimes it's hard to control. Because here's the thing, Manny. At like 8:55, I'm gonna hand the controls over to Willow because I've got to jump up to go to the Clarksville anime, comic, and toy show, and I got to be there by 10, and it's an hour-long drive.
Oh, wow.
So I got.
So we can do an extended show, guys.
You absolutely
Take it over.
You can do whatever you want, Willow. I will put you in charge, and you can. But Melissa's like, no, I gotta go. I love
okay,
you
then
all,
it'll be the Ivy and Willow hour.
You know what? I'm okay with that, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But Manny, so what a lot of people don't know because you didn't say it is that you've got an epic Instagram page where you and your daughter try different cereals, where you talk about the different cereals, where you showcase them and show them off, and that's how we met.
Yes.
I found your Instagram page and just I think you were the first like cereal centric Instagram profile that I said we have to have these people on the show.
So when I first started, my intention was to find something for me and my daughter to bond doing together, right? I knew, so my daughter, when she was a little, she's 7 now, but I'll say when she was like 3 or 4, she's a very shy girl. She was still in her little shell. So I was trying to find something for me and her to do where she would kind of bloom a little bit, maybe find herself, her personality, feel more comfortable. The trick is always, I can't have her reviewing that much cereal. Right? That's just be irresponsible as a parent. As much as I would love to shove cereal down her and my throat at the same time, it's just, so I try to limit her to maybe like once or twice a month doing a review with me, and then I keep up with the normal review as much as I can myself of reviewing new stuff that comes out or stuff. And it really did work. Like she has really come into her own. She wants to start doing. So I'm going to start a thing where it's called old school reviews, where we go into a store. She picks out an old school cereal, whatever it is from back in the day, and let her review it on her own, because I've ate it for years. It's hard for me to be, I already know how it tastes, right? Like I know what the old one tastes like. I know how it's changed. So it's hard to have a unbiased opinion, because it's never going to be as good as it was in the 80s, unfortunately. Yeah. So I want to see her opinion on Captain Crunch. I want to see her opinion on Rice Krispies or whatever the old school version of it is. So we've had a lot of fun doing it. It's a killer trying to edit, because it'll end up being like a 25-minute video on her, because she's just going. But I love seeing her blast. I just love seeing her do her thing. And obviously I love her to death. So it's cool.
And Rudy Uresti says, that's beautiful.
Oh, thanks, Rudy.
By the way, Rudy is a great friend of mine, and he is a phenomenal circus performer, magician. He performs in the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area every night, just about. And he is the former ringmaster for the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus.
What?
Oh,
yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, and we perform together all the time.
That's like the WrestleMania of like the circus, man.
Right?
Yeah,
that's the upper echelon. That's the Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So and he's
Johnny, how do you meet these people?
I've been doing performance art, theater, and variety arts and magic for 40 years. So we get booked for a lot of the same gigs, and so Rudy is a great guy, great friend. And if you're in the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, just Google his name and you will find his shows wherever he's performing.
I will stalk him.
Yes, do stalk him on Facebook, because he posts his performance dates there. So
I have to say real quick with Ivy, like I'm obviously just growing up watching wrestling on TV, so I think that's so awesome. And so, like, side note, I lived in Chicago for 40 years. I grew up, I'm half Mexican, half Irish, but I grew up in Puerto Rican neighborhoods. So a lot of times I'm speaking Spanish and I'll just start going on a tangent like, wepa. I use wepa. A lot of people are like, what the hell is that?
Wepa's a vibe.
Yeah,
I love your shirt. As soon as we came in, I came into the studio, I was like, how did I get that shirt? Can I get that shirt?
I will get everyone here if they want one. I will definitely get one to you guys.
Well, speaking of which, Dave Mattingly says, Ivy will pile drive your funny bone. I almost said phony bone.
I believe it.
Why are you going to say phony bone?
I'm over here like, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I didn't know we have fake bones in our body, Johnny.
Pile drive your funny bone. So that's that. I love that, Dave. Thank you for contributing. And that's the way the show works, folks. If you've never watched us before or heard us before, we're interactive with you, the audience. So you can post comments in the chat and be a part of the show. Like Dave Mattingly also says, "Good morning, box tops," and he says, "I was strolling through the park one day," because I said strolling instead of scrolling, and he just put scrolling, and I sang strolling. So anyway, I'm just gonna quit now. And Dave Mattingly says, "Willow is in the tree house. How can a tree be in a tree?" Well, so the rec room is not in a tree house, but the Cryptid Crunch Studios is in a tree house.
Oh, you could put Baby Groot in a treehouse.
Oh, baby.
I
You
guess.
have a tree in a tree.
And Facebook user says Melissa Stetcher is the best. So someone tuning in just for you this morning, Melissa.
Melissa, you have secret fans? They don't even have a picture or a name? What's up with this?
Well, no, I think it's Rich. Rich is one of my OG friends. He's known me more than half of my life, and like he's a big fan of all the nerd things that I am. Like, I know he just took his son to see Thor, and then he's like, now it's date night with wifey to see Thor, and I'm like, oh, I get to go tomorrow to see it, and then I can text my friends and see how it is.
I can't wait to see. I still haven't seen it yet. I'm excited.
Me neither. I'm right there with
Wait, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna get to that. Sandra Noel says, "Hiya, it's a Cocoa Pebble morning. I love it." And Eli Cash says, "I'm on the starving artist diet." This is true. I know Eli personally. He has no money to eat. And Curious Idealist Angel Love says, "Good morning, pocket friends."
Good morning.
I carried a box of Fruity Pebbles everywhere I went. This is not exaggeration. From the age of 16 till 32, I carried a box of Fruity Pebbles everywhere I went. There was not a day I did not, no matter where I went, I had a box of Fruity Pebbles in my bag.
So you were 16, you were in high school at 16, carrying a box of Fruity Pebbles.
Mm-hmm.
Man, your social life must have been awesome.
I didn't tell anybody, John. Come on.
He got the Chub
No,
girls. There's
yeah.
just a trail of cereal.
Johnny, listen. There's a thing about Latinos and Latinas. We would do the most weirdest, craziest things for
Absolutely.
years, and no one would ever know.
That is true. That is true. You know what sucks for me, Ivy? Just real quick, back then when I was talking to you about is I moved to Sacramento I was cross country dating with my girl. She got pregnant. I came to Sacramento, and there is no Puerto Rican restaurants anywhere, and it kills me. It absolutely. I have to go to San Francisco if I want any arroz con condules or anything like mofongo. I have to go travel.
See, I have no idea what any of those things are, but I want them right now. Just the way that you say them sound delicious.
Listen,
so
Thanksgiving at my house. That's what it looks like. Everything he said, it is on the menu.
That's where it is.
I'm sorry, what time do I need to be there, Ivy?
Yeah.
I didn't.
When the housewarming is and you get your invitation, that's when all the good stuff will be there.
Okay.
Everyone's invited, including Manny.
I'm there. You need to tell me twice, girl. You need to tell me twice.
I see how you are, Curious Idealist Angel Love. She says, "I'm mostly here for Melissa too." Yeah, I see how you are. And then she laughs. Some people carry a secret flask.
That too.
But I'm digging the secret cereal vibe so much more. Okay, I've got a confession to make.
Can I have like one of those cups with the snack thing on top and have both? Like,
do I have to get my Jesus on a cross for this? Is it that much of a confession?
So I do carry a box of cereal in the back seat of the car that, you know, some Magic Spoon cereal so that I can have a quick snack, dry snack, in between, going place to place. Like before I do a ghost tour, I'll just grab a handful of cereal. And Manny, now we're trying to get Magic Spoon to be a sponsor again.
Oh, okay.
So smile when I say Magic Spoon. There we go. Love it.
I actually tried it. Cereal. No, I actually tried it, and I really liked it. I like the cinnamon toast crunchy one.
Yeah. Rudy says tamales at Christmas.
That too. That's the
Rudy.
Mexican tradition. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Puerto Rican is the pasteles.
The pasteles. Yep. Pasteles.
Oh, I have
hungry. This
no
Eggo's
idea
not
what it
cutting
is,
it
but
now.
we're coming over there for
I feel like
Thanksgiving.
we need to have like the Latino hour.
I'm there. Shoot,
telling
I'm
you.
there.
I'm
We
there
go
for
on-
the food.
Listen, we go on a road trip. All we need is a pit to make a pig. Like, we can make this work.
When I went to visit a friend in Puerto Rico, we went up the mountains to their grandparents. As soon as we got there, the grandfather was out there with the, I forgot what it's called, but just
Yeah.
he's like, oh, just peeling off. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Wow, you're making me hungry. All right, so guys, no spoilers because I don't know who has seen this yet or not.
I haven't
But
seen it.
so Melissa, you've not seen Thor: Love and Thunder yet?
No, I'm going tomorrow.
Okay. Willow, have you? I know you're not an opening weekend person.
No, my husband is still humming and hawing about watching that movie. I really want to go. So if anybody is in Winnipeg and wants to go see Thor with me, please let me know.
I
I'm
wish.
free all
I
day.
I
much are-
would. My husband hasn't even mentioned taking me yet.
Well, sometimes you got to just go by yourself. You got to engage in some self-care. But Manny, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't had a
Okay,
chance.
okay,
I'm
okay.
dying.
So I'm the only one on the panel that has seen it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Have you guys been watching Ms. Marvel on
Absolutely.
Disney Plus?
It's
and-
phenomenal.
Not yet. Not yet. I
So-
haven't watched it yet.
Melissa, are you shaking your head no that you haven't seen Ms. Marvel?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay. What about you,
I'm
Willow?
undecided.
I don't have Disney.
Decided.
Willow, do we need to send you $6.99 a month so that you can get Disney Plus?
I need my husband to
need my
stop
sign-in?
sitting on his thumbs and get rid of our cable so that we aren't paying for useless
yeah.
cable bills.
I'm usually
Yeah.
giving blood monthly to pay my cable bills, though.
Everybody watching, we need a buy me a coffee donation so that Willow can get Disney Plus, regardless of whether or not they get rid of the cable. So buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. You put a note in it, Disney Plus for Willow, and that will go directly to her. So that would be awesome. Okay, so I'm the only one who's wait, Manny, you've been watching Ms. Marvel. Ivy, did you say you have been?
No, I haven't watched
Not
it
yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. The two guys on the panel have watched Ms. Marvel. Now, maybe Manny, it's because you have a daughter.
Mhm.
Has she been watching it with you?
She's watched a couple episodes. She really and that's one of the reasons why I was so gung ho to go see it. One, the female
Mhm.
being the lead, and then there's the troll part of me, right? That I love to see the angst and the disapproval of people that have an issue with such a. Let me make sure I use the proper terms. Non-white character that all of a sudden becomes an issue when you go into somebody else's culture, and instead of just learning, and maybe you'll find something provocatively stimulating about another culture, it's always back to the people feel like they're losing something out of their universe, like as if you don't have enough white heroes, we can't have one Latino hero or one a la Doctor Strange or the Pakistani and Indian.
Right. So I wanted to speak on this specifically, because we on the podcast we don't do politics, we don't do social issues. I've been very adamant that
Sorry.
No. You're okay.
Hey, Manny, come on.
You're okay, Manny. I've been very adamant from the beginning that I don't want to engage the negativity and the toxicity, but I'm very much opposed to it. And one of my issues is you can't fight and be anti-toxicity if you don't know what it looks like and what it is. So you have to be able to identify it first. And we don't really talk about it on the show. It's not something I want to engage in. But this week, I went on a little troll hunting expedition on Facebook.
That's dangerous.
It is dangerous, and the trolls came out in force. Now, I shared this with Willow and Ivy before I did it, so they knew where I was going to go. And Ivy was like, "You
Tag
kept-"
me.
Yeah,
Tag me.
she's
I
like,
got you,
"Let's
Johnny.
go!
Tag me."
Let's go. She sent me a voicemail. Let's go. It was so funny. So here's my thing. I'm seeing a lot of divisiveness online about Thor: Love and Thunder and Ms. Marvel in particular. And one of the things I hate is when people just say, "Oh, that's garbage, that's trash." When really what they should say, what they should mean is, "All right, I'm not the target demographic. It didn't connect with me, but I see where they were going, or I can appreciate the artistry, I can appreciate the work and the effort put into it, whatever, because it's not something I could do on my own." One guy was going off on how awful Ms. Marvel was. I was like, well, since you've established yourself as the expert, I would love to see the shows that you've written, directed, and starred in. Where can I see your work?
And it was silent.
Crickets. So I posted a post this week because Marvel did put out an image on Instagram that, promoting their Strike Force game, and all of the it says all of your favorite characters in one game. And I didn't notice it first, but then when I took another look at it, I realized all the characters were female characters. And I'm cool with that because, Manny, like you, I've got a daughter who is an actress, singer, dancer, and all my life, I've been a big proponent for women and women's issues. I want my daughter to have an environment. If she wants to get into pop culture and geek culture, if she wants to become a magician like your old man, I want the environment to be right for her. I want her to feel like she can succeed and have role models and whatnot. So I've always been an advocate for women. And so I posted that image and I just said, hey guys, this is the future of the MCU. This is the way we're going. We're pushing women and women of color. This is the world we live in. This is the reflection of the world. And if you are an angry white man who has problems with this, maybe it's time to get off the train, get off the ride. And I was accused of being a racist and sexist for calling out white men who are sexist.
So you hurt somebody's little ego. Ay, bendito. Ay, they'll be okay, Johnny. You've done a lot more in your lifetime than they'll do in 24 hours.
Yes.
But I love the fact that you stand up for that. And,
Absolutely.
I don't have any children of my own yet. But, men like Manny, just seeing how amazing he is with your daughter. I've seen you personally with your children and how you have tried to safeguard the environment and also teach them how to navigate around it and still be positive. So I respect you both so much, and thanks for
well,
that.
and here's the reason I did it, and it's strictly because I do support women and I do support my daughter, and I want, but more importantly, I sound the bell that I don't want toxicity and negativity in my life. I don't want it in fandom. But if we don't recognize it and call it out when it's coming from other people, we can't stand against it. We've got to be able to help other people recognize it. And that's why Eli Cash is asking, why are you giving power to the haters? I'm just calling out the people who are creating that toxic environment. And I think that's important.
If they want to scream their insanity, we should be able to scream our own sanity.
Yeah,
it's not just that. It's not even just that. It's the fact that they have taken control of the internet, and sometimes people will stop pursuing their dreams or their passions because of what someone has said online, and then they lose their joy and their light, and that's not right. No one has the right to do that to anyone.
Well, and someone said, and even Eli has commented, then ignore it. And someone said online, ignore it. If someone is being like that, ignore it. And I said, okay, here's the reason I'm not going to ignore it. Because if I ignore it and I sit back and I watch someone like Jake Lloyd, who played Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace, get cyberbullied to the point that he commits suicide, and I said nothing.
No, pause. We don't say
Okay.
commits. We say we died by.
Okay, regardless.
No, that's not a regardless thing. You're on a hot topic about our language shifts. This is one of those things. The way people lose their lives, it's not an act of crime. So if you're going to shift your language and we're going to highlight women and not break us down for, watch me hold a sword and cut somebody, you have to shift it fully.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to sit by and watch someone become a victim of suicide.
Thank you.
And not say something.
Absolutely.
You know, that makes me culpable. That makes me partially responsible, right? Same thing with toxic fandom. You know, men, white men primarily, and I can call them out because I am a white man. I'm not a sexist and I'm not a racist because I'm calling out my own sex and my own race for their bad behavior. That's the soapbox. I'm going to get off of it.
Thank you, Johnny.
I just wanted to share that with our listeners who are wondering what that post was all about this week.
And we appreciate you for it, John.
And
I
you
love
can
you
always tag me in women empowerment. Always.
Yeah. I am a real... See, that's... Okay, anyway. So anyway, let's get to the topic at hand, shall we?
Let's
We have Manny here because we want to talk about your favorite cereals from kiddom or today. So today I broke out the Golden Grams retro recipe, and Manny, I haven't had this since I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
I think I was a senior in high school the last time I had Golden Grams by itself. And by the way, the back of this cereal box, just so I can show you this, all full of all kinds of fun 80s retro stuff that we may or may not remember, like head to toe spandex.
I definitely didn't wear that. I can tell you that.
I will be wearing that later today at the con. Head banging to your favorite metal bands.
Yeah. I wasn't born in the 80s, but I still do that.
Break dancing. Oh, and 2 for 1. 2 for 1 Tuesday at the local video store. Does anyone remember that? I'm probably the only.
I remember.
I do. Blockbuster.
Johnny,
right?
Blockbuster. Listen, I'm not that young. I was. Oh, my bad, y'all. I was breakdancing.
Break it down, girl.
Breakdancing from breakdancing when I was younger feels a lot
of course,
different to breakdancing now. Like, oh no.
Now if you try to break dance, you're gonna break something.
Like something broke. Like, what was that noise? Oh, it's just me. It's
just a little rattle.
it's not just my shoulder again.
Yeah.
And of course, it says best of all, waking up on Saturday morning for a marathon of cartoons and a bowl of Golden Grams made with real honey. Yes. And so that was my Saturday morning experience. Absolutely. And so Golden Grams has been sentimentally one of my all-time favorite cereals. Now, trying it for the first time this morning, and maybe it's the fact that I'm using almond milk and not real milk, it doesn't have quite the same exciting flavor that I remembered it having.
The formula's changed. I mean,
Do you think it'll taste good with my coffee, Johnny? Because I was gonna buy it this week.
I would try it. All right,
I'm gonna buy it for next week.
It is still good. It is still delicious, but it's not authentic graham cracker dunked in the milk good. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever had real graham crackers and you just dunk them in the milk, and it's the most magical thing.
Well, my household growing up, it was coffee because, in order to save milk for 5 other people, you couldn't have too much of it at a time.
So 5-year-old Ivy is drinking coffee in the morning?
Yes, I was. I actually was. Yeah, my grandmother used to pour me a small little 4-ounce cup and give me crackers, and it will be Golden Grams.
And that's how we got the Ivy of today. Thanks to coffee.
Thanks to good old grandma.
But today, I think my favorite today is Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, yes.
And by the way, for those of you who haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor: Love and Thunder, watching it is like eating a big bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
So I'm not
It's-
gonna like it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's fun. It's colorful. The taste explodes in your mouth. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie.
I like to look at it. It's pretty, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's not one of my
Because
favorite
you
cereals.
put it in your cup of coffee.
No, there's certain cereals that I don't.
Okay.
There's certain, yeah, but
You don't like
even
Fruity Pebbles?
even as a kid, I didn't like it. I didn't.
No?
My mom substituted for Cookie Crisp. That's what I used to eat instead.
Okay.
Ooh, Cookie Crisp. Do you guys ever like use your cereal milk in your coffee to use it as like a creamer?
Yeah,
It's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah.
that's pretty good.
The cinnamon toast dulce de leche cinnamon toast crunch cereal milk is
Yes,
so amazing.
it is.
That would be awesome in your coffee. I think.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go hunting for those two.
So, Manny, what's your all-time favorite?
It probably is Fruity Pebbles. I mean, like I said, I carried it around for such a long time. It's my guilty. I love Fruity Pebbles with marshmallows. Obviously, it's just that's like the upper echelon. But this new one, my new favorite right now is French Toasters by Maltmeal. It is absolutely a top 5 cereal right now, bar none. Like it is so good.
Like what? How did you find that cereal?
Stalking the cereal aisle as usual. Duh.
Now, Manny, you've brought a bunch of cereals for our viewing audience. So,
I did.
you told us about HEB, Heb.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, so HEB Heb is a grocery store in Texas.
Okay.
They have a bunch of creations that they well, speaking of dulce de leche, they got dulce de leche cornflakes.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's something that I think I could.
My daughter has got turned on to the cinnamon toast crunch frosted flakes. So the dulce de leche cornflakes is probably
They're wonderful.
okay.
This
We got to
is-
make a road trip to Texas.
I know. I will
Okay.
so be
Wow.
down. I'll be so down.
Oh
This
my
is
God,
so good.
Food
Ooh.
Lion.
So there's a bunch of grocery stores that have this. They made their own version. It was like 3 or 4 grocery stores that came out with this, and they're all. I went over the ingredients. They're all the exact same ingredients, and they came out with their own PB&J puffs, and these are so good. But I can't find. They were like very short lived, so I
Oh.
still have one box left full.
Well, I've got a Food Lion right around the corner from my house, so I know where I'm
There you
going
go.
later tonight
So good.
after the con. So let's see. Dave Mattingly says, for me, Golden Grams always had a weird aftertaste. You know, it still kind of does. It still kind of
Mhm.
does. I don't know what that's all about. Willow, what is your favorite cereal, either today or from your childhood? And does it hold up?
Okay, so I loved some of the fruity ones or the chocolatey ones, but for some reason I always went back to like Golden Grams. I'm a Honey Nut Cheerio kind of girl as well, so you know I'm so sorry you can't see that.
I thought you were doing a magic trick. For everyone that's listening,
Show me
Willow
more, show
just
me
tried
more.
to show us something, and her back screen completely
So
made it
I got
disappear.
the classic Honey Nut Cheerio bowl here. I'm
awesome.
guessing that came out early 90s.
Yes. Do you know how impossible it is to find those vintage bowls?
I
Impossible.
eBay will
I
sometimes
tried
have
looking
them.
up on eBay, and those were going for like over
Ridiculous.
like $200 for a bowl or something.
No.
Like our childhood is expensive, guys.
Yeah.
No. joke.
Listen, I am a
30
firm
bucks.
believer. I am a firm believer that our childhood is the most lit childhood from like Johnny to like me.
I don't know if she
I
just called you
posted-
old or classic.
Vintage.
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 Leveled up.
Yeah, we
Um,
leveled
There
up.
you go.
I posted a meme this week that said, kids today are so spoiled and soft. When I was 5-year-old, I died once, and my mom just told me to walk it off.
Right. It's right. It's true. It's true.
I
I mean,
passed
dude-
out. My mom slapped me. So yeah, that's my childhood.
There you go.
Well, one time I laid my bike down in a patch of gravel, and I got gravel like deep embedded into my left knee. I mean, it was bad, and my dad had to pick it out with the tweezers the best he could, and
Ouch.
sometimes he pushed it down even further, and then he finished it all off just by pouring mercurochrome on it, and
Iodine.
the howl was heard around the neighborhood. It was today. Kids aren't gonna even have that experience because they're not riding their bikes out on the street. They're riding their bikes on the video screen.
Yeah, it's so true. Everything's virtual. Everything's a screen.
I mean, I can honestly say, like, where I live in the city, it's not like that. There's a lot more people outside, and there's a lot of families. And Manny, you'll love this. There's a lot of families recording together. So I live by Flushing Meadows Park, and you see families in small sections of the park with their tripod, their phone, and they're just recording their experience together. And it's the most beautifulest thing ever.
So
That's
this is one of the things I love about New York. For those of you who have never been to New York City, a lot of people feel like they're going to be overwhelmed by the size of the city, and it is a big city. It's huge. It's a super city. However, New York City is made up of small neighborhoods, and every block has their own feeling,
Culture.
their own community, their own culture. And the thing with New York is, space is small. People are in small apartments, they're in small studios. So spending a lot of time inside with your family could become like
It'll drive
really
you crazy.
difficult. It'll drive you crazy.
That's
So
true.
you just
it would
want to
drive
get
you
out,
crazy.
right?
Yeah.
Here in Middle Tennessee, we live in McMansions. And I can get away from my family by going to the other side of the house, which is like 400, 500 feet away on another level. And so I think there's
Johnny,
something-
you're my goals. I swear, because I'm
Johnny
in this
just likes
studio.
to-
I'm in this studio apartment, and I'm in a corner right now.
but
It looks like Manny's in a closet, so
That's what it looks like, right? Garage. The 6 a.m.
But-
garage.
But yeah, and I mean, my rec room that I'm in right now is bigger, and it's small for Middle Tennessee, but it is bigger than the hotel room that we stayed at when I visited New York 4 years ago.
I believe it.
I'm dying to go. I'm so dying. I think
It's-
next
it's
year
a
we're
magical
talking about
place.
going.
Listen, you come to Queens, Manny. My husband and I can show y'all the real Spanish restaurants
That's what
of
I'm
New York
talking
City.
about.
And nobody there are no fat people in New York because they all got to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
They get out, they exercise, they burn those carbs. So speaking of burning carbs in New York City, Ivy, did you tell us what your favorite cereal from your
Childhood?
youth is? Yes. Or
Well,
even today. I know you love Kix and Eggos.
I love Kix and Eggos. Those are like my top two while I'm working from home and eating, having breakfast. But childhood is always going to be Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I saw the taste since I came out the womb. So I was like, this is the cereal for me. And like right now, Eggos are my favorite as a snack, as just by themselves. I can't have them with my coffee anymore. It's just too sweet. Last week I had it. And I literally almost regurgitated on the screen. It was too much sugar at one time for me because I'm so much more healthier. Just my taste buds wasn't responsive to it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
those are the two.
So speaking of Eggo, Manny, have you had the new Waffle Crisp cereal? It's not new, it's reissued. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. I cannot find this
Ooh.
anywhere in Middle Tennessee. How is it?
So this is like, this box is probably about 6 months old. It's never left over here. So if you look at this one specifically, it doesn't have the character. They
Okay.
went-
Oh, it's just plain. It's just the
they
regular.
came out. So I have a store around here. It's called Grocery Outlet, that they always have like either stuff that's getting discontinued or like sales on cereal. So it's my go-to cereal store, and they had like these for like $1.50. So
See,
I'm like stocked up.
I bought a bunch of Quisp when they
That's great
reissued Quisp. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. But now it's already gone again. It was at Kroger, $1.99. I bought a bunch of boxes 6 months ago. Now I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And we have a surprise guest on the podcast this morning.
Hey.
Willow's beautiful cat. Oh my God.
Oh
what
my
is that
God,
cat's
so
name?
majestic.
So regal.
His name is Simba. He's my 3 foot long
You're
giant
now
cat.
King Simba. Yes, Simba.
Oh my gosh, Simba is gorgeous. Hello, Simba. Can Simba
He is.
hear us? Put the headphones on, Simba. I want to see what happens.
His
Simba.
Simba.
Hello,
Simba.
Simba. Does Simba even know Simba's name? Simba. Simba.
Oh,
There you go.
he's cuddling the headphones.
There you
Oh.
go.
I love it. Melissa, what is your favorite cereal of all time? When you're
Reese's
having to
peanut
make
butter
dinner.
puff.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
Reese's peanut butter cups or puffs. Yeah. So that's your go-to if you're having
That
to
is
do
always
cereal
in
for
our
dinner.
pantry. That is like, oh, dude, we're down to the last box.
I like the new clusters. The texture of the new clusters better than the
The
original.
puffs.
Yeah, I do. For some reason, it's just something about them.
You know, I'm glad you said the word puffs, Melissa, because I've been searching for that word because I've been calling them pellets or nuggets, and I hate both those words. It's puffs.
Puffs.
I don't want
But
to
it
eat a
says
pellet
it.
or a
It
nugget.
says it on the box, right?
Right?
Yes, but see when I've been describing cereal that has puffs, I've not been able to find the word.
Like
And-
scrolling.
Like scrolling.
Here's a cereal confession I have. So I have not ate, like, as far as when I'm not reviewing something, I'm always, obviously it's that one cereal, right? I have not ate a regular just one cereal bowl of cereal in about 20 years. Like, I remix everything. As far as for personal
Ooh.
pleasure, I can't just eat one. I've,
So
I've
you're
reached another plane of cereal existence,
So,
cerealtopia, if you will, where
Cerealtopia.
I can't eat just one. Like, unless it's a review, I can't do it. I have to like remix and.
So you're a cereal mixologist.
Yes, I'm a cereal mixologist. Anywhere from 2 to 6 cereals at a time, I will just.
Manny, that needs to be in your bio now.
I know, right?
And all cereal mixologist.
I'm a cereal mixologist.
I love that. I love that. That's fantastic. So we don't have any more comments, I don't think, from our audience, do we? Let's see.
We have.
Angel Love says.
Oh, sorry.
Angel Love says, I miss the experience of going out to the video store and picking out 4 or 5 movies for movie
Right.
marathons.
That was always cool.
The 2 for Tuesdays at Blockbuster. Yeah. And
I still have my Blockbuster card.
do you really?
Yeah.
But wasn't it excruciating? Like, you'd get there and there's one, like that Friday you wanted that, and it was nowhere to be found. Like, everyone got
You
there.
had to go like right when they open to get that movie.
Yeah.
And you know, that was the thrill of the hunt, right? And we've lost that with streaming services.
Absolutely.
There's no thrill of the hunt. You know, come on, we got to get there. They're all going to be gone. Mom, I told you they're all gone. I told you this was going to happen.
I think it's just the
Mom,
universe.
you're the worst.
It's
That
the
was not
universe
thrilling as a
minimizing
child.
fights.
Wait, what was that, Melissa?
That was not thrilling as a child. Like, it's looking back, it was the thrill of the hunt. But when I was a child, I was like,
It's
oh,
excruciating.
It was
Just
painful.
mad.
Frustrating,
That's what I
anxiety
was-
ridden. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. They're minimizing fights in every household, one streaming movie at a time.
No, that doesn't minimize fights either. Because
Everybody
What?
has a TV in their own room.
I
and-
have
yeah.
I have 2 TVs in my studio because sometimes my husband wants to watch one thing and then I want to watch something else.
well, here's the thing. In our McMansion, we do have a TV in every room. And in the rec room here, we've got a 76 or 78 inch TV with
All right, Johnny.
And-
now you're showing off.
Well, no. In my office, I've got a great, nice flat screen in the living room, in the kitchen, in my daughter's room, in our bedroom, everywhere. We've got a TV.
Does Jeeves like turn it on for you and off for you?
No, but
Or-
Amazon Alexa does. But and we've even got a TV in the garage. And we still fight over what we're going to watch because everyone wants to watch it on this TV in the rec room.
Of course.
The big, huge movie screen size TV. And we still fight over what is going to be watched. And I'm just like, guys, we got a TV in every freaking room. Go watch what you want to watch.
I've given up every rights in my household. I've realized that since I moved in with somebody and having a child. Like, look, man, happy wife, happy life, whatever. I'll watch stuff with her that I would never have watched ever. And I'm okay with that. It's kind of like,
it's so
just
beautiful.
So
Because then we want to experience it with you too. We're trying to send you a hidden message. Pay attention.
So right now she's obsessed with Korean dramas for some reason. Like, that's her thing. Like, Korean dramas, like Netflix, all the Korean dramas ever.
Now, here's the question.
Go ahead.
Here's the question, though, Manny. Does she reciprocate and watch the stuff that you want to watch that she has no interest in?
She has. So my favorite of all time is, so look, she can't stand any like superhero stuff, any of that. She started watching Grimm with me at one point.
Okay.
But she couldn't remember the name. She'd always be like, hey, can we watch the animal show? Let's watch the animal show. Like, okay, let's get. And I knew it, obviously, I knew what it was. But she watched that whole, we watched that whole series together. It was crazy because she doesn't like any of that type of stuff. But for whatever reason, she would watch that show and she liked it. Like, okay.
So that's funny because my wife was obsessed with Grimm. I mean, she was obsessed with Grimm and Supernatural. And she is like a binger. She's a binge reader. She's a binge watcher. So like 4 days ago, Monday, she sat down with a stack of 3 books, and she's completed all 3 of them in a week. You know, one was the new Miss Peregrine's. Another was the new book from Chris Colfer, the Tales of Magic, and another one was a second part in a series. And done. I mean, and she like literally, Melissa, you can probably relate to this.
I got new books.
That's awesome. She will sit down and like at 6 a.m, and she will not get up from the chair until like 12 at night, until she's done with that book. Or same thing with the series. She will watch episode for 12 hours.
Well,
and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do 7 series or 7 seasons in 1 week. I can watch 1 episode.
That was my compromise. Like my one of my friends, he's an ex-partner. He loves sports. And I'm like, whoo, tight guys in pants. That's about as exciting as I get about it. But it's important to me to have that couch time together, right? Like that, let's sit down and nothing. So I would just read a book, lay it on the couch while he's watching sports ball. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, that's what weekends are for. You do you, I'll do me, but we'll share the space.
We do that all the time. She'll watch something on her phone while the TV's on, and if I'm watching something, or same, she'll do something, and I'm looking for new cereals. So I mean, you know.
Willow, I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna go meet the crew. You guys have been awesome. For anyone watching or listening, you can follow me at my website, johnpica.com. Thank you, Manny, for being with us.
Thank you, John.
Willow, I yield the bridge to you, number 1.
All right.
See you guys later.
Have a good day, Johnny.
Love ya.
Make it so.
Love you, mean it.
Catch you on the back of the cereal box.
All right. So those of you who need to get going, I guess you guys can say where can we catch you online? Melissa? HopefulSimplicity.com. All right. So Melissa, tell us, like, before you have to take off, tell us what you do for like the Hopeful Simplicity.
She organizes the chaos in your life so you can have more time to live a free,
and one day me and her will have a chat about this.
So speaking of that, to be determined, keep your earbuds puppy keep your earbuds tuned in. Sorry for everybody. Manny just opened the door and a big old puppy came in the door. It's really sweet.
Oh, so cute.
But no, Willow, I will try to tag you. We may or may not be launching something exciting next month.
Okay.
We will be initiating all the like decluttering steps of saying goodbye. the organizing steps of setting up systems, and then the maintaining steps of just sitting back and maintaining our systems. So I will keep you posted on that. That's what we do. That's what I do. And then on my free time, I read and game.
Because like many of the nerds out there, I try very hard to keep a clutter free desk, but somehow my desk just becomes like, paperwork, some clothes, and I don't know why it does that. I just like, as soon as I'm off work, I dump everything there.
I think that's your version of like just dumping the stress from the day. Like, here, you will harbor my negative emotions for today.
See, I get up from the desk and I'm like, kiddo, turn on gears. I need to kill some stuff. Let's go. Let's go.
That was me yesterday with Rock Band. I was like, music saves lives.
It absolutely does. Shoot.
Okay, so you guys watch like Stranger Things and stuff like that, right?
Oh, okay, good. My daughter's obsessed with it.
Well, I love how how people are like, you can't tell me that you're not interested in 80s music if you haven't listened to blah 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 CD or played blah 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 game. Rock Band, seriously, how much music from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s is on
the Beatles? The Beatles had an entire game dedicated to all their songs. And just so, if you guys didn't know, now you're gonna know. I went to a Halloween party that the theme was Beatles Rock Band, and there was amazing jam sessions until 3 a.m. It was amazing. Wow. That's probably one of the best Halloweens I have ever had.
I love that they shows like Stranger Things bring back, like, revive artists, either careers or at least like my kid, that the Katie Bush song, like she plays that nonstop for like 6 days now. Like it's just and she loves Master of Puppets because she bawled so hard, and it was like watching that reaction. Like obviously it just as being my daughter broke my heart to see that reaction, but she's interested in other Metallica songs, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. And she saw them. We showed her a video of them playing, and she's like, wow, they're old. It's like, but
she weren't to us at the time.
It hurt me a little bit. But it's cool. Like one of the beauties of technology is that stuff like that now it's available to everybody, and it revives certain artists' careers, and it's cool.
Well, I'm so sorry, Willow.
No, go
so
ahead.
That's exactly like my relationship, like with my brother. I used to cut school to play Rock Band with him, and we would literally play Rock Band the whole day and order pizza, and then he will make me do my homework because I missed the whole day of school. But it was just a balance, and just that bonding time is important. It nurtures relationships.
I love how you guys were delinquents, and then all of a sudden it was like school is important.
No, that's basically, so that was the rule growing up with my brother. It was, you have a choice. You can either do the hard work now and then have fun, or you can have fun and then you have to, once the fun is over, you have to work.
That's
so that
awesome.
that was the discipline.
That's awesome.
I tried very hard to pay attention in school, but ADD and moving around too much, it didn't help. I grew up in foster care, so it was just like all over. Okay. Yeah, moving around way too much, and but funny thing is, school. I realized like once I got into high school became like somewhat my safe space away from the stress at home. And so where was I? In the cafeteria, trying to get as many of the kids that were bullied in one corner, just so that we could all protect each other.
Oh my God,
so, I loved being in school. Like being 16-year-old boy, it's like that's where the girls are, I'm not going anywhere. And I had that unique, so I had these big bifocal glasses, right, up until I was about 16 and a half, and couldn't get a girl to say hi to me for the life of me. And then my mom got me contacts. And literally, this is the true story. Like, I went to school the next week. I walked around for a day, and everybody thought I was a new kid in school. Like, everyone's like, oh, who's a new kid? Who's a new kid? Like, and it was weird because all of a sudden I got attention. But there was like almost like, well, I'm still the same person, right? I still love comics, I still love series, like everything. But now because so I think that was my first appreciation of like, don't everything's not about what's on the cover. Like, yes, we are physically attracted to people in certain ways and certain times, but you could be beautiful on the inside and ugly on the inside, and
Yeah, I know a
that
lot of
doesn't cut
people
it.
like
It doesn't cut
that.
it. Yeah, me too. It's like, yo, like I'll take the brains and the personality over anything else any time of the week, like, or just
Yeah.
the connection,
So
like
that
just
And
was
then you
like
just
your
appreciate relationships, like the people that you do have. You're like, oh my God, you get me. I don't
yeah,
have to
absolutely.
pretend, I could just be myself.
And that's my girl. She'll listen to my rants about why Doctor Strange's plot didn't like vibe, and she'll like, and I could tell like you could care less. You could really care less, but it's the same thing, right? I get home, she tells me about her war stories from work, and in general of life, if most people did that with me, I'd be like, I gotta go. But it's like I enjoy that. That's our bonding, right? Like that's our, we vibe off each other like that. So
That's
it's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. I love that for you
absolutely.
guys. We have the same like so in my house you were saying about like you just watch whatever she wants to watch, right? And you just give it up. Well, I'm like that because I love the fact that my husband is also like a comic book nerd and loves, everything that I love and we share that. So he puts me on to new anime. He'll be like, "Hey, I really want to watch this with you." And I'll be like, "All right, let's watch it." Like I'm down. We'll grab a beer, some Uno cards, and if it's dubbed in English, but if it's not, like it's like it's my favorite time with him each and every day, and we
I mean,
try to we try to have it at least right before bed.
I think that's what it's about, right? Like the compromise, the 50, like we got like, and then sometimes it'll be something you like. I actually like it. Like, that's cool. You introduced me to something that I otherwise would have never
Yeah,
even bothered looking at, right?
Yeah.
he put me
So,
on to Spy Family,
see,
the anime, and I was just like, I love it. It was like it just, you know, the idea of you being a spy and your family and just how that they come together, like it just sucked me in.
that's awesome.
And that's kind of what happened with my husband and with the Rookie. Like I love watching cop shows, and so he was playing video games while I was watching the Rookie, and he was paying attention, and he's like asking me questions about the characters and what's going on, and then I saw him one day just like putting down the controller and turn towards the TV because
That's how
like
it
there was
starts.
like there was like something interesting for him to see, and then it just became both of our obsessions where
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, like for like my husband and I too, like I sometimes I'm editing my content and he's watching whatever he wants to watch on YouTube or whatever the case. And when he's like, "Hey, I want to watch this with you," I know like that's my cue. Okay, phone goes away. It's time to give undivided present attention because I could really let my editing and like my ideas consume me. Like I'm normal. I'm human, but I know how to stop myself and like, wait a minute, this person really needs your attention. Like, put your stuff down and actually give it to them.
Mhm.
So, for those of you that don't do that, try. It's hard, but you can do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. You have to. I think it's. I mean, it's about sustainability. Like we got a long way to go, right? Like in general uh, aspect of life, like especially with our partners, is like we have a long way to go, and there's going to be a lot of ups and there's going to be a lot of downs.
Yeah.
And the way that I think that you kind of moderate that too is like you have to do things like that to to keep it going. Like
It's like
otherwise,
being mindful. It's
yeah,
100% being mindful.
be
And
mindful.
like Manny, like you said that your daughter is she starting to like record her reviews and you've been editing it for her? Like what's your cuz I'm a future parent and for future parents out there like let's just use this
Yeah.
platform real quick. Let's use this real quick. What would be like your rule in the household for her to have her own Instagram and TikTok?
So that's rough, man. That's rough nowadays. Like even she watches a lot of YouTube, right? And it's great. She's been into more adultish type things from a young age. Like she didn't go into like Caillou and all that. She went straight into like the Disney teen bopper
Mhm.
shows, right? With Miley when Miley was doing her thing and all that. Um, So I have to just be keep a visual eye on her and see what she's watching, check the history. And she's wanted her own YouTube channel, and my compromise was like, no, you can do stuff on our channel and do it branch out as a separate series, but you're not getting your own channel. Like that's too much for me to monitor. I
Yeah.
need to have it in one central location. I do get. She has her own. I gave her my old Instagram page where I kind of post things for her, but she doesn't have access to it, so that later on in life, she can kind of scroll through it and see herself growing up and all that good stuff. Um, but it's hard as a parent nowadays. Like there's so much out there, and like we were talking about the bullying and all that. Like that's it's nice to be able to say, hey, when we were kids, and but the truth of the matter is, I say this like about serial killers too, right? Like we always talk about like there's more mass shootings or killings now. No, it's just that you have more access to see everything that's going on in every single state, city, country
Yeah.
now. Where that stuff was going on in the 50s, that stuff was
Hmm.
going on in the 60s, but they didn't have the resources to be able to show you all that or even know what a serial killer was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I think it's the same with like that. It's like kids are so easily nowadays bullied. Like, we could go on tangents about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exposed
It's a-
more. Like I know I can go and I can flip on the Netflix and find 50 shows about mass murders and hidden bodies and how to commit a murder. I'm like, why is that a title on a TV show?
It's like,
Yeah.
What the-
And when it comes to like the foster kid thing, like I know that there's a stigma of foster children being like on drugs and homeless and all that, and
Absolutely.
I've taken time out of my to like sit back and think, I want to change the look and the feel, like the stigma around foster children and us growing up, and really, I want to extend an olive branch to other foster children, other past children as well, and kind of create our own community so that so that we have someone to rely on, talk to.
right.
Exactly. And that's exactly why I love the fact that we all have found each other. We do
Yeah.
the show. We bring, it's we all have our own story, like our own superhero story where we have triumphed in our own lives. And the fact that we, Thor and Miss Marvel and Captain America and all these awesome, comic books, X-Men for me, Storm, like that has given me the opportunity and the chance to always have hope, to never
Yeah.
lose hope. And the fact that, Manny, you are doing this amazing content with your daughter, like you low key give me baby fever when I watch your post with her and I look at my husband, I'm like, would you probably do something like this with her? No, just me? Okay. But like
And
the
it's
excitement.
and it's crazy too because I remember when we first started, I would lose my every once in a while just because it was like we can't be like it'll be like we're in the middle of here, she'll raise her hand and then just go on this tangent about and then I was like, I know I'm gonna have to, you're making editing so difficult for me, like, but at the end of the day, it'll be like 20 minutes of stuff, and it's like, but I go back and then I find like I end up cutting a lot of stuff I love too because she's so natural. None of it's this new era of like, and this is me being the old man on the soapbox. Is like sometimes you watch people's content and it's so fake. It is so like contrived, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, just be yourself. And it's like that's what the beauty of kids is they are just being themselves, and it's like you got to appreciate that because like once you get older, like you're always everybody wants shock value now. They're always trying to create shock value, and like it's her shock value is just her being herself, and
Yeah. And
it's
that's
cool.
beautiful. And that's exactly like when I record my content, I'm literally deep diving into the childhood version of me. That's it. I'm having fun with it. It's not stressful. Um it's supposed to be fun. Like there's
Yeah.
the intention is to create that positivity on, in the internet and on a platform that you can have a lot of negativity, and teaching people like you can really have control of your algorithm
Hmm.
if you are very mindful of what you're following and what you're putting out there. Like if you're being intentional with your content.
Absolutely.
She
Absolutely.
said positivity, and I'm like, I'm kind of like hopeful and snarky all at the same time. So
I battle with, and I think that's right. That's part of being human. Like sometimes
Mhm.
you'll find yourself not all the way on the other end, but you'll find yourself being that. I
Yeah.
just being from
Human.
being from New York, you can appreciate this. I'm a naturally wise ass. Like if I'm not talking about your mama, we're probably not good friends. So it's like that's the Chicago in me.
If I didn't point out that it looks like your size pants went up too up, like
Yeah,
you know,
that's love.
and
That's
that's
love.
love right there. Like, yo, you okay? Because a lot of people don't understand some physical signs of mental health show up in in your energy, and it's hard to call those things out and be supportive and for the person not to get offended. So like in my family, we point things out in a humorous way, but then we kind of pull each other aside, like, hey, are you okay? You good? Like,
Right.
you need anything? Let me
That's that
know.
balance act, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
that
the
balance
balance.
act. So
Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah.
It's the same thing, like in pretty much any family, though. Like, I grew up in a German Ukrainian home, and anytime I went to go visit my grandma, she'd be like, "You're too skinny. Eat."
That's Hispanic culture too. Like
Yeah, that is
they're
that
not
is
turning down
definitely
no food.
my
that's the
my
Midwest. Yeah, like
grandmother
that's
fired my grandmother fired my babysitter, retired from her job just to take care of me because I was too skinny. Yeah.
that person. Think I'm too skinny and feed me, please. Yeah. Yes. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring on the snacks.
And
What I need in my
that's
life.
even with my husband's family too. Like, well, I lived out in an area that had Mennonites, and Mennonite is very German oriented. And yeah, at the moment that they're like, "Hey, what's the matter? You're not eating your food. Is something wrong with it?" Nope, nope, nope.
It just has a lot of carbs for me, a lot of dairy, and I'm trying to impress you, not be in the bathroom for an hour and a half. And
That
for
food
me,
would
if
be
I was
like
there,
piled up like like
Yeah.
That's not-
mountains.
listen, Willow, that's how Puerto Ricans serve. You better starve
That's
for a
true.
day.
I,
Sure.
I honestly cannot cook for just two people. I have to cook for like a whole army.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. So my sister has 7 kids, and I helped her raise those kids, which is why I don't have any of my own yet, because
Sure.
I've been warned. I've been warned. They turn into adult jerks. Um, not my nieces and nephews. I'm just saying, I've met some of their friends, and
That's not.
and
I don't know. My 13-year-old can sometimes be a jerk. He gets that from his mom, though. So
I don't believe it. I just don't believe
I
it.
think
human.
I think food is a
is
love
love.
language.
It is.
And
Absolutely.
And that's why I
Absolutely.
can only cook for like 13, 20 people, because I've been cooking for, 11, 12 my entire life. Like
Mhm.
every time I'm cooking, I miss my nieces and nephews because it's like, oh, they'll enjoy this.
How old were you guys when you learned how to cook?
I was 5.
Okay,
Legit.
so that seems like it's a normal thing for us anyway.
And
Just
this is why on the
realize
show
later how weird it was when being like 6 years old making macaroni and cheese. It's like, should I have been that young?
Listen, this is why on the show, like, I alter, like, sometimes it's cereal, sometimes it's going to be different. I want to give everyone that actual New York culture of growing up and enjoying these fandoms. Like, that's why this morning I had my, Korean baked bread, and I had my coffee, because it is literally a part of whatever I had access to super early in the morning by myself. There was a certain time period that I wasn't allowed. There was no microwaves yet. So I wasn't allowed to go on the stove and make my oatmeal. I had to
Mhm.
make something else. I had to either be cereal or something that I can just grab and just eat. So, I like sharing that with you guys because it embraces our friendship.
That's
I like
awesome.
snacks.
Aww. Warm moment. Warm moment.
One moment.
So, Manny, what do you have coming up in the next like week or so, or even the next? What projects are you working on now?
It's so crazy how like all this new stuff comes out in droves now. So it's not just cereal in general; it's cereal related. Like it's cereal Eggos. They got the Fruit Loop Eggos. I'm looking for right now. Um, I just had I just recorded a reel yesterday, which seems to be the new in thing, the reels. Which I do kind of like it because it's like it's a shorted format. It's really quick. I ate the dollar store bubblegum cereal, which is god awful, but it had a cancer warning on it. It was like,
What?
yeah, like it literally, that was the whole spiel of it. Like it literally says on it, this could cause cancer. And I'm like, um,
Why
Why
would
is
I
that
eat
allowed on the
that?
so
shelf?
now I can't even have my daughter try it because that's just irresponsible. It's not worth it for the
Yeah.
clicks. But I literally ate just two spoonfuls and it tasted like Bazooka Joe.
I would literally make a parody of it and was like, this is what you do with this cereal, and you just start using it as confetti.
There you go. Well, I have a good Stranger Things tie-in for it, so
Okay,
that I'm
dope,
trying to
dope.
put together.
No
Yeah,
cereal is gonna be put to waste. If it's not ingested, it's going to be used as a prop.
absolutely,
Oh my god.
absolutely.
Okay,
So
I have to go, Manny. It was nice
Oh,
meeting
you
you.
too, Melissa. Thank you.
Bye,
have a
friend.
good day.
Bye, Mel. Bye.
I literally
Oh,
have like, I think I have like, I don't want to say it loud enough where she can hear me, but I think I have like 30 boxes of cereal in my house. So
That is
oh wow.
awesome. Oh,
stashed.
you should make like a wall with them.
That's the new in thing too. Like one of my favorite follows ever. You guys should check out is Bill Johnson's cereal reviews. He's hilarious. He's got a great page. And he has one of those for his background. I do my
Yeah.
reviews literally at 5 a.m. at work. Like my
Yeah.
personal reviews, I'll go in early purposely to record my reviews. My boss thinks it's hilarious. He's like, dude, that's really why you come to work? Like, yes, that's why I come to work.
Listen, you are going to utilize your job as your studio if needed. See, in
Absolutely.
my case, my home is my studio and my workplace. So I'm in this little queen size box, okay? So but that is amazing. So we're gonna wrap up the show, right, Willow? We're gonna
Yeah.
wrap everything up. Manny, let everyone know where they could find you and where we could see your awesome content.
So on Instagram at my Cereal Bros One, on Instagram, on YouTube, and I'm still getting all that together. I am at the Cereal Connection, which is me and my daughter's page, and they can find me there. Twitter
Awesome.
also, I'm at Cereal Bros One. So
Excellent.
the old man is trying to be everywhere.
Well, Manny, if you need help with any social media, you can always reach out to me. I'll be
I
more
am
than
definitely.
happy to
I'm gonna
give
take
you
you
all
up
the.
on it.
Listen, I record almost every day, and there's a way to do it to make it easier. And Melissa has taught me a few things in terms of organizing.
Let's speak because I really need help. I
Yeah.
do really seriously.
I got
And
you.
because I'm up in Canada, it's hard to get some of the specialty cereals. But I look forward to watching your reviews and.
Willow, we can arrange something where I send stuff to you every once in a while. We can
Oh,
get
that
stuff
would be
to you.
awesome. Yeah, I
Yes,
could hook you up
absolutely.
with like Starbucks or whatever coffee and.
Oh yeah, she's an awesome barista.
Hey, you guys have some awesome cereal out there too. I've had a couple things pushed my way, and it's like, dude, you guys have some great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it could be
just
like an exchange of
we can
cereal.
do like a little swap.
It's like the Breaking Bad of cereal. Let's do it.
Absolutely. All right.
Willow, where they could find you? Where can they find you?
All right.
I want you to have that love and introduction.
Okay. I'm all over social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, Twitch, YouTube.
Is it at Willow what?
At Willow Scholar. Just type in that name, you'll find me. Yeah, I know I have an old MySpace account somewhere out there too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do too. I just don't know what email or password. If I tried, I think I might be able to figure it out, but I'm not going to try. I don't want to see those pictures. I honestly don't.
If I was still singing, I'd probably have a cereal OnlyFans, but let's not talk.
Oh my god! Imagine.
That needs to be a thing.
Listen, I need to turn off my comedian brain right now because I have so many visuals and jokes going on. But I am Ivy Roman. You can find me on Instagram, Healing with Ivy. Click the link in my bio, and you'll find me everywhere else, and you'll find find out what I'm doing and when I'm doing a show or two.
Oh, it looks like we lost Manny. Okay, well, I guess that's a good way of ending our show. You guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for sticking around with us. You guys have a great day.
Have a great day.